Konami, I don't know what's wrong with you. You are a giant pack of goofy bastards. I don't get it. I mean, to be entirely honest, I see more good out of this than I see bad, but that's because I guess I'm trying to view this from a different perspective, in which I can see a Kojima who makes things that aren't Metal Gear. Now, this is coming from someone who actually is a pretty huge Metal Gear fan themselves. I've loved the Metal Gear series ever since the original, or no, I'm sorry, ever since MGS1 on the PS1. That's when I started to get my MGS love on, and ever since then, I've been hooked. I love them. It is not a perfect series, but you know, we're talking about a person here who's had to make Metal Gear games constantly for the past, Jesus Christ, how long now? Ever since MGS3 and onward, nearly every Metal Gear game that's come out has been because he's got a flood of death threats. Yeah, it's not so much of a passion project anymore. Speaking as a Kojima fan myself, where's the next Snatcher? Where's the next Police Knots? Or where is a reboot or a remake of them from Kojima himself? Where's my Zone of the Enders 3? Now, that's kind of what I want to get at. When I'm trying to say that I personally think that Kojima and KojiPro, hopefully KojiPro follows him, leaving Konami is for the best, it's because the man is filled with more than just Metal Gear Solid in his head. The man himself has stated that he wanted to make Zone of the Enders 3. Do you know why we don't have a Zoe 3 by now? Because of poor Zoe HD sales. Well, why were they poor? Well, when you don't advertise a fucking game, it kind of doesn't sell. Yeah, Wonderful 101 can attest to that over and over again, can it? Great game, doesn't fucking matter, Nintendo never advertised it, and therefore it sold like shit. On top of that, I mean, we're talking about two PS2 ports that, when they came to the 360 and the PS3, were running around, what, 38 to 28 frames per second? What? How? Konami, what are you fucking doing? I don't get that. The Metal Gear Solid Legacy and the MGS HD Collection, which both were just redundancy ad nauseum, how the hell did you get those to run at 60 FPS perfectly fucking fine? I believe it was, what, Blue Point that ported them? Who were these other assholes you got to port the Zoe Collection? I mean, you fucked up just as bad on that as you did with the Silent Hill HD Collection. Just stop. Stop fucking up. I'm sorry, but Konami is nothing of consequence anymore. They really aren't. Look at what's happened to the Castlevania series. I can't really see a reason to cling on to Konami for Castlevania, because the last one that I can even say I remotely felt was an excellent game was on the Game Boy Advance. That's a long time ago. And I don't know, anymore, Castlevania has just lost its luster. We all know that Silent Hill lost its luster, and I guess we should talk about Silent Hills, right? I mean, that's a big thing. That's a big deal. A lot of people were looking forward to Silent Hills from Kojima and KojiPro themselves. One of the more obvious things we have to take into consideration with Silent Hills is that we do not have any concrete information to know if whether or not it was going to be the rapturous return to the form for Silent Hill. Specifically because, well, all we got was PT, which was a playable teaser. A lot of people loved it. I mean, really, if that was representative of what Silent Hills was going to be in terms of, like, saying first person and, you know, some jump scares here and there, I'm not really that impressed. I mean, I was totally impressed with the fucking atmosphere. You can't deny that. The atmosphere in PT, pretty fucking great. But I mean, let's hope that that is what they would have depended on more. You know, spooky dooky atmosphere, which is only 50% of what makes Silent Hill great to begin with, or, you know, the good ones. The other 50% is a really fucked up awesome story. And see, here's the thing about the Metal Gear games. I love their stories. I do, because they're so cheesy, which is why I am absolutely in love with them. They do have some deep philosophical bullshit in there, and some of it is legit, especially like the end of MGS2. In fact, actually, especially a lot of MGS3. Like, nearly everything that the boss says is fucking legit as hell. But can we be realistic here? The stories are fantastic because the characters drive them. You know, I love to watch Snake do what Snake's doing and Ocelot doing what Ocelot does, Boss doing what Boss does. If these stories were bereft of any of the cast of MGS, they would not be very good. I'm sorry, they wouldn't. They wouldn't have the same punch. Hideo Kojima has created a very charismatic set of characters to carry out the messages that he wishes to project onto the world. That's fine, that's cool. Still, at the end of the day, the storytelling in the Metal Gear series is still silly. It's super, super silly. I'm not going to say it's bad, because I don't think it's bad, but holy shit, it's fucking silly, and it retcons itself to ludicrous degrees. Like, to the point of nanomachines being used to tie up every single loose thread in MGS4. And that sort of brings me back as to why Kojima leaving is probably for the best, because there's all these other games that he can make. He's a very talented person, he's a very talented director, he's a very talented producer. He clearly has clout with a number of other very talented individuals, such as Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro. So just because he's leaving Konami does not mean that he can't still pursue and fulfill excellent games out there in the ether by either joining another company or making one of his own. Like, the dude's got talent, the dude's got clout. This isn't the end of the world. Konami themselves, not only were they not going to give us half the games that we wanted to begin with, right? Like, say, Zone of the Enders 3, again, because they pretty much sabotaged it. But we're talking about a company here that used to be the leader in interesting and innovative gameplay. Not the leader, but like one of the leaders. Like, they were up there with golden era Squaresoft and Capcom, and that's gone. Those days they're long gone. They're dead. And yes, it's a shame. I'm not going to deny that, but at the same time, I just gotta cut your losses. So, I mean, let's face reality here. Konami was holding back Kojima. In terms of what happens over at Konami, I know they're going to continue on with the Metal Gear series without Kojima. I don't know. Look, I love the Metal Gear series, but I want more from Kojima than just Metal Gear. Alright? I don't know. Those are just my desires on that matter. By the way, I've been recording this from my bed. That's why I call it the comfort zone. So, you're in bed with me right now, and I cannot confirm or deny whether or not if I have pants on. What you do with that, I do not know. I do not care. That's your business. Oh, for the record, the Final Fantasy XIII script is coming along very nicely. Once that's done, I'm going to record it. After it's recorded, I'm going to edit it. After it's edited, I'm going to put it up on the Yubby Tubs. When it's up on the Yubby Tubs, everyone can say, "Wow, you're so wrong about everything." No, Final Fantasy XIII was totally great. Underrated gem. Best in the series. No, man. Lightning's armpits are fucking fantastic. I'm fucking him right now and I'm loving it.
The one I've got for you is American-made.
$45, huh? Incredible.
How's that?
The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer. The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized.